my bit on emeek's latest vid because I've been contacted and PM'd and all this other stuff. Where do I start? One, basically throughout my time on YouTube, I've heavily defended emeek, and most people know that, and they can attest to that as a witness. And emeek and I spar a lot, and primarily it's because I'll always address technical issues when there are false technical statements made. The whole reason why I joined YouTube was try the best I could to educate people on how computers work. And when I do see that there are technically false statements made, I go in as constructive criticism and saying, no, it's not like this, and here's why, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it just so happens that when it comes to technical stuff, there's a hell of a lot of fantastic and awesome things to say about Apple versus, just say everybody else. So, that said, emeek wants to make this a subbing soap opera. I really don't have time for that. And I'll just say from me, I would encourage people to subscribe to emeek. Please do subscribe to emeek. If you like my material, also feel free to subscribe. I think emeek does fantastic tutorials and quite many times has some good things to say. But I will make videos when there are technical flaws that are stated. And my debate on setting OS X free, I do not presume to dictate what Apple should do. I got into this debate passionately because people were giving me technical excuses on why OS X couldn't be set free. And emeek still has a lot of very deep misunderstandings on what certified hardware actually means. Why do I present with certain things? Because these are not beliefs on the technical side. Technology is factual, and I'm sticking to that. I can't presume to know what Apple's business plan is, and I don't debate that side of it. Like when people talk to me about consumer behavior, I have no answers for like consumer behavior. I'm just going to argue the technical side of it, because that's something that's very educational for most people, and that was the whole process. I took this to Ustream because I was very frustrated in littering my channel with response video, response video, response video. And I hate the limitations of YouTube. It's 10 minutes, that you have to cram everything into 10 minutes, and then you only have 500 characters. So I invited emeek to Ustream. I wasn't so much part of the invitation that, because emeek made it very personal, and I will say historically emeek really takes it upon himself and gets very personal with a lot of other Mac users. We're not the only ones. He accuses us of knowing what Apple's going to do, but he declares himself the judge and jury of deciding who is Mac enough to own an Apple. I mean, if you ask me, someone has to really put themselves into that category as to someone is as arrogant to say who is a certain percentage of Mac. Let's put it that way. So, from my point, I have nothing bad to say against emeek, and I'll continue to defend him for those. And I know plenty of them, especially when they went after his daughter and other things like that, is just absolutely ridiculous. And I encourage you to subscribe to emeek. He's got a lot of fantastic tutorials. I've learned a lot with Final Cut Studio and things like that. But as far as technicalities go, that is what I'm here for on YouTube. I am here to explain the inner workings of OS X. Why is OS X such the freaking badass operating system it is? Even emeek always closes OS X. Many people, if we were to put blue box and yellow box back on a Mac, you wouldn't be able to argue what many of us do in Mac versus PC. Windows is a software. It's not hardware. The way you fight software is with software. And most everybody's defense against Microsoft is rooted in the power of OS X, and it's predominantly why emeek goes OS X, and that's great, because it is absolutely awesome. And as far as the Shock Alliance, Right now I'm doing a current series, which is multiprocessing, and another series that's a surprise coming up. Um, Again, all on the technical savvy side of the arguments. Anyway, so I just do, like I said, I just do the technical vids because there's for like the targeting switchers, we've got great YouTubers for that already. And just to name a few, obviously Cost, DRBUK, D Road Trip, Vegas Underground. There's tons out there that do what they do, and it's different content. So I'm just gonna say it to everybody again. Please subscribe to emeek. Subscribe to these other Mac users. You're gonna. There's a plethora of knowledge out there, and this is what it's about. It's not about you sub to me and I unsub to you, and I have 4,000 subs and you only have 2 subs, and sub. Okay, whatever. I mean, there's. I can't say anything to the effect of the judgment that emeek places on people and accuses us when he himself in his own vids goes and says he doesn't care what Steve Jobs says at a certain event or whatever. So, there's there's really nothing to say to that effect. It is what it is. Anyway, I hope everybody decides to come to Ustream. Because again, this was a misunderstanding on emeek's part. Like I'll repeat it again. The reason why I went to Ustream was because of the format of YouTube, and I feel that we could discuss things. Because I don't bash anyone. You can look at my video repertoire. There's no bashing of anyone. I don't allow it, and it would be nothing more than a technical discussion where we learn from each other, and we give our input and stuff like that. And Ustream is a great format for that because you can talk for hours, and people call up on Skype, they ask their questions, we answer them, they give their input, so on and so forth. So that's what that was all about on Ustream, at least for me. Anyway, you guys take care. Multiprocessing is coming up next week, and hopefully I can see you guys on Ustream. I am going to try to get a schedule out because I think setting OS 10 free really pose a lot of technical questions that people would love to have the answers for. Thanks for watching. P.S. emeek, I just saw your latest vid. There is no cluster F, whatever you want to say. I've never bashed you. I've defended you. You know this. I mean, countless of times. All the users that know me would say otherwise. I'm always there to say, leave the dude alone, all this other stuff. There is no cluster anything. If anything, it's a place where you can learn the technical side of stuff. That's why I wanted to go to Ustream. It's extraordinarily tough when people bring point to point and or don't listen, because many times I'll say something and you'll respond as if you never watched or read the statement, and then I have to repeat it again and again and again, and or you misunderstand the context, which takes further explanation. So you just don't. If this is a learning experience, you just don't leave things the way they are. You don't leave invalidation where it is. You try to rectify it and get everything out in the open and then set the facts straight, and then you move on. For the points that can't be backed by facts, then you agree to disagree. But anyway, there would be no gang up. It was just my Ustream that I had originally thought and said to do it, and then I think Gareth came on later after you had made your insulting comments to him. So.